How can couples influence each other? In today's podcast, Sissy and I are going to talk about some of the things we do to boost each other up. So stay tuned.
Take a sip. Hey, Blissful friends, welcome back to another episode of the Blissology podcast. I am your host, Sissy. We're back in high school, and I'm joined by my husband.
I don't know what you just did.
Oh, boy.
I have no idea. Anyway, this is Will, and welcome to another episode of the Blissology podcast.
Mm-hmm.
If this is your first time with us, please remember to subscribe.
Yes.
Hit the notification bell so you can be notified when we put these videos out.
Yes.
And remember to share this video. We appreciate it when you do.
Yes, thank you.
In this podcast, we talk about
love, life, relationships. Okay. And whatever else is going on, we're going to talk about it here on this podcast. So mostly relationship.
That's it. We talk about relationship.
Yes, guys. You know, before we get into the topic of the day, we like to talk about a blissful moment. So let's get right into it, babe.
It's kind of like the same thing from last week.
Which
was last week. It was that I got water in one of the bathrooms. Now, this week I got water in a whole house.
Yeah, you did.
People can actually shower now.
Yes, we can.
But it's been good, and the kids are getting back to wasting water as usual. And
I'm making sure they're not.
Someone here is getting back to wasting water as usual.
And someone here is doing the same thing as well.
My shower lasts 5 minutes.
5 seconds.
Shh.
And then he's done. You know, guys, typically men don't really take that long to shower. I'm just saying. Like,
you soap.
Yeah.
You wash your hair.
I'm just saying. Like,
and what else to do? You scrub a little bit.
For us ladies, we like to, well, for me, let me talk about me a little bit. For me, I like to sing and talk to the Lord when I'm in the shower. And I like to
do that before you turn on the water.
No. When the water is coming down on me, I'm singing, I'm talking to God literally every single time. I feel like my moment with God is in the shower when I'm showering, like the water falling down on me. And this is where all the thoughts, all the ideas, all the talking, all the pouring, all the crying out to God.
Okay.
It's just the moment. It happens all the time.
Well, it hadn't been happening in the last 5 months.
But I find other ways to talk to God. But I feel like it was great. Yes, this man got things done. Okay. Get you a man that can get things done around the house. A handyman, you know.
Listen,
call 1-800-WILL.
We're fortunate enough to be where we are. And that's why every day I thank God for giving us what we have, the ability to live the way we do.
Yes.
I know it's all because of his good graces that allows us to be where we are.
Amen.
So every day we are thankful,
grateful,
yes, and enjoy what we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the blissful moment. Now we slowly but surely getting close to normal.
Yes.
Part of my house is still opened up, still needs to get plugged in. And
I feel like this whole year is all about the house. You know, there's so many things happen. Yeah. So many things break apart. So many things happen.
Yes. I had to replace my AC, in the middle of this whole no water.
In the middle of summer. It happened in the middle of summer, but
right at the beginning of summer. It's like it knew summer was coming. It's like, yeah, I don't want to work this summer.
Yeah.
Get another one.
Yeah, I'm done. It's like when you are in a relationship when the person is like, you know what? I think we had a good time.
It's time to move on.
Yeah, spring is right around the corner and I gotta go. I gotta find me somebody else. So I feel like this was the AC for us. So yeah, it was a lot happened. But hey, we're grateful. We're not complaining. We just saying things happen, but we do count our gratitude. We do count our blessings. But things happen. That's life. And then you move on.
This is the thing with life. Things have happened. Things are happening. And things will continue to happen.
Yep.
What's important? What do you do? It's what you do about those things that's important, because there's not a moment in life when there isn't something happening.
And if something is not happening,
something's about to happen.
Damn. Yes, pretty much how he said it. So now, yes, this was a blissful moment. Actually, I wasn't even thinking about that, but yes, babe, that was a good one.
She's been enjoying those long showers.
I have been. I totally forgot about that moment. Although there's no school Thursday, and I look forward to that. Water utilities,
if you can understand, please do not charge me extra for the surge in water usage.
Yeah, just think about the time we didn't have the high $100 bills. But anyway,
if my water bill comes to $100, I'm having issues. Anyway,
I'm just saying. So now, guys, let's get into the topic of the day, which is what my husband says: how can couple influence each other? How do I influence you, babe?
How do you influence me? You give me talks. I think sometimes I get in my moment, in my zone, and I need someone to kind of pull me back.
Yes.
And that's one thing that gets me back on track is being open as a spouse and call me on my stuff.
Yes.
And obviously the biggest thing is that I put myself in a position to be able to, take the feedback, but kind of change the way I view things somewhat to help me understand where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. And that's been helpful. I think that's one of the biggest things. Although you guys probably heard it in this podcast. I talk about how much that she can talk, but it's not all talk in the air. It's important talk. And so what, you feel a certain way? I
feel some kind of way, baby.
But she talks. I mean, I'm not going to lie, and this is not the first time you've heard me say that she talks. Sometimes it happens at the very wrong time.
But I talk great things. It's like I'm just like blabbing around for no reason.
She does talk about valuable things.
There you go.
Things that are important.
Yes.
Thank you. She does it a whole lot, which is good.
I feel like it's good, but not good.
Don't take this the wrong way. I mean, many times I say this.
Explain yourself, baby.
It's obviously in jokingly I mentioned that, but in our relationship, we talk. Yes, I do say sometimes it happens at the wrong time, and sometimes it does. But one of the way that she influences what I do is really help me sometimes get out of my own head and help me see things from a different point of view.
Yes.
And that's helped me many, many, many more time than I was willing to admit. But now that I know better, I can admit that it's helped me a whole lot of time by allowing me to kind of get out of my own way and kind of see things differently. So that's one way. How have I influenced you? By being the great me?
That, yes. I think the way you influence me is by pushing me to be more out there outside of my comfort zone. You motivate me.
Okay.
In a way that, especially you like so positive. He's like so positive where sometimes I may see something, man, this is not working. And then he'll turn it around and say, look at the positive side of it. Right. And I think this is something that really helps me see things in a positive way. And it helps me get things done better, as opposed to be so frustrated. I can't do it. I can't get things right. But the fact that when you talk to me, you would tell me, hey, babe, look at this in a positive way. So most of the time, you just need someone to really tell you that, hey, listen, think about what you're doing. Look at it in a positive way. And it'll work fine.
Yeah. And something we do with each other.
Yes.
We come up with a challenge. Even if there's like 2,000 ways of seeing how it doesn't work, we look to find the one way that it would work. And together we approach it.
Yes.
And one commitment that I made about 1.5 years ago is, before I dismiss any ideas, I have to give it a try. Mm-hmm. And that's been working fine. Hey, we tried because, when something comes up, the worst thing you could do is to dismiss it without even looking into it.
Right.
Because, I mean, she's had some great ideas, I got to tell you. And had I not put myself in a
you.
position to actually give them a try, I would have missed out on trying some new stuff.
Yeah.
And life is all about doing new things. She's the type, she wants to do new things all the time.
Yeah.
And that sometimes get me to want to do new stuff. Like I'm a creature of comfort.
You are.
If you let me be, I'll do the same thing over and over and over.
And over.
And over and over. And that's the kind of person I am. Yes, I like change. But if I'm in my zone, if change comes, I'll deal with it. But I will not seek the change. Her, on the other hand, she does this today. She wants to do it differently tomorrow. And then differently the next day. And the next day. If she's done something a few times the same way, she gets bored with it. She already wants to do it a different way. Which is good because that allows you to explore every possibility. And in many ways, that allows me to see the benefits in trying things and doing things differently. And I think that's one other way that she inspires me is to keep doing things differently and pull me out of my routines.
Yeah.
Like, believe me, if I could eat the same thing every day, I'll eat the same thing every day. And I will not complain.
True.
Her? She won't have the same food twice.
No. It's boring. It's life. You gotta switch things up a little bit, right? You gotta take chances. You gotta take you gotta challenge yourself. And I think that's one thing that I do push my husband a lot. I would tell my husband all the time, like, hey, challenge yourself. You can go further. And I've done it. And I think that sometimes motivates you to keep pushing. And I think, too, it's always good to have a spouse that motivates you, that pushes you. Like in the morning, like when I go for my walk every morning, or when I used to work out at night, my husband would join me because I inspire him, like, to come and join me working out. And same thing, when he's working out and I don't feel like doing it, he motivates me to go ahead and, get your butt up and let's go work out. So you got to find a spouse, someone that really empowers you and motivates you and then get you out of your comfort zone. I mean, then what's the point of us being together if you're not helping me grow?
But this all start with being able to see the potential in your spouse and also believing in their capabilities.
Yes.
And obviously that's something we've developed over the years.
Time, yes.
And seeing what we're capable of. Now, I'm handy. And I could do things with my hands and I could figure out complex stuff. And Cece knows that. I know she's creative.
Very.
You give her something, she'll find a way around it to work with it. So, and with her, if you've explained something to her, you give her the thing and she figures it out. She takes it and she runs with it. And all of these things, by being together for so long, we kind of learned these capabilities in each other. And sometimes Cece would give me some pushback. I remember when we were starting out this whole podcast thing, being in front of the camera and so forth, Cece kept giving me pushback, but I know that the moment that she gets it,
right,
she'll take it and she'll run with it. And sure enough, she's running with it. So, and this is where understanding your spouse or your partner, knowing their capabilities will allow you to not take no when you know that they have it in themselves.
Yes.
And sometimes it takes you doing the thing for them to see that it could be done.
Right. And the thing is you got to understand that any relationship works better when your partner have influence you, when your partner, especially when we work together. Like, yes, we're going to have where we disagree with each other. I may bring up an idea. My husband is like, that's not going to work for me.
Listen, there's ideas that are crazy.
He's like, totally disregarded. And I'm like, babe, let's give it a try. You never know. I have a vision. See my vision and then we work it out, and then he comes into his right mind.
Listen, when creative people comes up with ideas, sometimes it's like, really? Listen, I think when I think, the way I think is I have to see all the inner working parts of thing, and
You're
that
a
makes
vision
sense in my
person.
mind.
You have
Yes,
to
and I have to be able to see it.
Right.
Her, she'll just make up something in her mind, and in her mind it works. And sometimes just for her to break it down to you, to pull it out of her mind, it takes some efforts, but she'll get it out. And you're like, really?
Yeah.
And for years early on in our relationship, I'm like, man, that's not gonna work. Let's not waste our time on it. But as I grew, I realized that let me give it a try, and I made that commitment.
You sure did.
And I've been giving it, and I realized, you know what?
She's
Sometimes it's take a little bit of tweaking. Right.
Yes.
Takes a little bit of tweaking, a little bit of
Yes.
finding. I mean, you put the engineering, taste to it to kind of like
pieces together.
put it together. But in all, the ideas have turned out to be, good ideas.
Good ideas. And I think one thing too, like I would have a vision and then I may find my way in there not able to execute the vision, and I'll explain it to my husband, and then boom, we just come up together with like the execution, right? So, which is a good thing. You got to be able to find someone that, hey, I have this idea, but I don't know how to birth it,
Birth the idea.
I don't know how to birth the idea. So therefore, by me explaining it to him, and then he's thinking in his mind, okay, I see what you're saying, but then let's keep going. Let's keep talking about it. And eventually we work it together. And then before you know it, the baby is born. The idea is born, And then this is the thing about when you with someone, you got to be able to sit back. Hey, I'm thinking about this. How can we do it? How can we grow? Take action.
And learn to ask the how. How? Because once you lead with how, it opens a whole new world of you trying to figure out, okay, how does this come together? How do we put this together? What do we need to put in place to run this? Because the moment that you start asking how, we start getting your brain working and moving towards, okay, now this is something, but how does it come together?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've had ideas that we've sat on for weeks and
Months.
And sometimes months. I haven't been able to figure it out. I mean, it sounds good, but how do we put it together?
Mm-hmm.
And yes, there's some that we couldn't put together. Hey, listen, not everything works out.
No.
But there are some that came to life.
Yeah.
And this is where growing together allows you to build that relationship where you understand each other. And sometimes there's things you do that just by doing it has some impact on your partner's ability to do maybe some things unrelated, but the effort and the sacrifice that you put up helps motivate your partner to do things. Like I'll tell you, I stay up late sometimes. Actually, many times. I stopped doing it recently. And
you stayed up late last night.
Cece, yeah, but that was just last night. Cece's not the type who would stay up late, but by me sometimes staying up late would somewhat causes her to want to stay up late. Unfortunately. But the things we do around our partners, good or bad, can have some influence in them.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm a night person. I'm nocturnal. I can pull up all-nighters with no issues.
He can, guys.
Her, on the other hand,
I can't.
She may try.
I'm crashing.
And this is something that I would not, put upon her to do that, because our bodies work differently.
Yes.
But if I do that around her all the time, she may find herself doing the same thing as well.
Which I did for a good period of time.
And then we had to come to
I did.
We have to come to our senses and says it
it's not healthy. I did for a period of time, and I had to, when you're in the beginning of starting a business, things happen. You gotta sacrifice the late nights, staying up late, and having a partner who understands, and having a partner who wants the same thing will stay up late and do the things with you. Like we both are like trying to find ways, ins and outs out of the business. So therefore, we both end up being up until 2 or 3 in the morning. And up at 6:37 because, he has to go to work and I have to get the kids ready for school. So we don't really have much sleep. And we understand that. We understand that it's for a short period of time, but we just got to do what we need to do. We acknowledge that, you got to be able to acknowledge your partner's point of view as well. Like if you're with someone who thinks that, why you got to stay up until 2 o'clock? I gotta go to sleep. I don't have time for this. Then this person is pretty much
And listen,
a bad
some of us
influence.
value our sleep more than others. And sleep is, hey, listen, don't take this in any way me saying that you shouldn't go to sleep. There are some of us that goes to sleep at 9 o'clock, and that's fine. And they probably wake up at 9, or they wake up at 6, or wake up at 4. We all have to gauge what makes sense for us. And
Yeah.
and the point that I'm making in this is there are things that we do around our spouse. It may influence them to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes may influence them, or at least helping them see that it's possible, whatever it is that they have in their mind. If so and so can do this, I can do it. I can do this too.
There's a lot of things that I see myself do, and I was like, man, it's because of my husband. I am now becoming like him. I'm like, there's things that I'm not a handyman. I don't do handyman stuff. I don't do technical stuff. Don't ask me to do technical because I will not do them. But there's a lot of things like that he does, and I find myself doing them or saying them, and I'm like, man,
she's picked up on some of my saying.
this is
like,
something
what the
that,
hey? I'm the only one who says that in the world. Nah, she's saying it too.
Not just the words, like his character stuff, his attitude, the way he does.
Even my hand
things.
gestures.
Oh my God, whatever, baby.
You know,
that is so
she's
natural.
copying me.
I'm one of those people that likes to talk with my hands. What are you talking about?
Yeah, before I met you, you never used to do that.
I told my husband he is the female version of me and I'm the male version of him. And he's like, that's not true. Mind you guys, we are both the same sign, and it's actually a good thing. I actually read it, how we both work so well and how we both into the very similar thing, and how we both business major. And it's just like so universal, like in a way that universe know that, hey, I'm gonna get a male version of me.
She was made for me.
You were made for me. Like
I was made before you. So you were made after me.
Universe was like, okay, she's this. I'm going to get her a male version. I'm going to get a male version of her. So therefore, whatever she wants, the male version. However that goes. But I feel like we work, we don't really have the, like this.
We don't have crazy arguments and crazy disagreement where we blow, where we get crazy. No, that doesn't happen. However, we've disagreed on stuff.
We've disagreed on, we don't have to be at a certain place on time.
But what I would say is, we just happen to be the same sign, which I don't believe our sign has anything to do with it.
I do.
I think the success of a relationship is based on understanding, compromise, and being there to support each other. We just happen to be the same sign. I think that's just a coincidence because people of different birth signs.
Nothing in this life is a coincidence.
Maybe nothing. However we look at it, I think the success of the relationship is based on a number of different things other than our birth signs. However,
I disagree.
She disagrees, and she can disagree. That's on her.
Listen, I want to say, accept that your opinions matter, even if your husband don't agree with you. Okay, like right now, my opinion matter with what I just said to you, even if you don't agree with me. So therefore,
you can keep your belief about the birth signs. Obviously, you believe on that stuff. But what I'm saying is, to be able to influence your spouse, that's important. Now, whether you're the same birth sign, whether you're close in age, whether you're far apart in age, whether you're from the same background or different background, being able to help this person or influence them in any way is important.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, if you're in a relationship, especially a marital relationship, or you're committed to a very, very long, you're committed for life. Well, for most people. I have to put that on there for most people. Not everyone will carry this commitment through the end of their lives.
Yeah, you're right.
When you're committed long term, let me just leave it at that. She's fixing me up. That's
that's what I do. You're welcome, honey.
Fix my shirt up. When you're committed to, when you're in a long term commitment with someone, obviously what you do is going to influence them. Now, you can influence your partner in a negative way.
Oh, yes.
And obviously none of us wants that, but there's things that if you do around your partner or you push them to do the wrong thing, that may happen. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously, if this person is strong in the character, yes, they
Right.
will oppose you, but the influence can take a negative route as well. Now, in our case, we cut out negativity. That's why we don't complain in this house. Well,
No, I do sometimes.
I don't complain,
I do.
and it's on purpose. You know, something happens, I figure out way to get around it as opposed to sit around and complain. But you know, I've learned in my mature days that
Okay.
complaining about stuff and not do anything about it does not solve the issue. So with that
Mhm.
mindset, if something happens, before I even go and start telling anyone how bad it is, which I don't, I look for ways to fix it.
Right.
If I can't fix it right away, I look for ways to convince her that it's okay. It's temporary.
I'm not easy. I'm not one of those people that's like, okay, fine. I want to talk about it. Let's talk about it.
And we'll talk about it.
That's
But
just
my
me.
goal, if I can't fix it right away, my goal is to find a way at the end of this conversation that we can carry on while I continue working on fixing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been lucky enough to have been able to accomplish that in actually 99% of our issues.
Yeah, you have. You have.
Well, I'm a good man. What can I say?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
But you know, and this is one where you can influence your spouse.
Yeah.
Not just like coerce them into believing something that's not so, but present your case in a way that helps them understand.
Mm-hmm.
Because you find that if something's going on, if we don't quite understand what it is and how to deal with it, then it becomes the issue. But if we can help each other understand, hey, this is the issue, this is how we're going to go about solving it. We don't have the solution right now, but we're working on it. And this is how we're going to get there together. We're going to make it.
Right.
So yes, understanding is important in resolving issues and in helping our spouse. And if we can influence them, not only to help them do better, but to help them understanding the challenges that sometimes we face in relationship. Because when you're together, you are going to face challenges. And as we said earlier, if you weren't facing one, you are facing one right now, or you're about to face one.
Yeah.
And when these come, as partners, we have to be strong.
Absolutely.
And sometimes we have to help each other get stronger at things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that's part of dealing with challenge when it comes to building or grow together, maybe building a business several businesses, just like we've been in the last 3, I don't know. We've owned ICBW Photos for
7-8 years.
Yeah, since 2011.
Yeah.
10 years. What the hey?
What the hey?
Yeah, so when it comes to building a business, it's important because we'll run into business challenges and one has to help the other one deal with the challenge. And sometimes it's coming up with plans on how to grow the business, but really help each other find ways to get there. So in that relationship, whatever it is that you're facing, it's always important that we're together. Because spouses, as married people or partners, when we do things together, when we help each other, we become stronger.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. I know you talk about the negative influencer as well. Like there's pals who just want to be so negative and all they talk about is negative things.
How bad things are.
Right. I mean, those are like, to me, I feel like those are complainers. Like you not about the life. You're not doing anything about your life, basically. You're not doing anything with your life, I should say. Right? Because imagine you hanging around someone who see no value in what you're doing, or all they do just talk negative about your business and they don't have anything good.
When you're around people that has nothing good to say about anything, what you'll find, you'll have nothing good to say about anything either.
Even if you try really hard, because you're around that vibe of people, it's just gonna be hard for you to really succeed unless if you leave that relationship and move on. Because if you're not with someone who wants to bring the best out of you, to me, it's a waste of time. And there's a difference, guys. There's a difference where when you influence someone and versus when you're changing someone. Because I'm not changing you. There's a big difference. I know some people get it confused, like, oh, you trying to change me to do things your way. No, that's not it.
Yeah, that's absolutely not it. I mean, no one can change someone. I believe that if you are how you are, if change is going to happen, you will probably make the change yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I can influence you to bring about some changes in you, but if the change is going to happen, you're going to make the change.
Yep.
So, and this is where in a relationship, we can be there to support each other, but also help each other be better.
Grow.
Now, better may means doing things differently, or better may means doing things your way, but with a different mindset.
Man, there's some men out there. It's either my way or the highway. They just such bad influence. They're just like,
Well, imagine if what I do is crazy stuff, or maybe I'm verbally abusive or whatever it may be. If that's what's in the household, it's going to impact you. It's going to influence you in ways that would either imprison you, because there's relationship you're in based on how the other partner acts around you. You lose your voice. You lose your ability to be you. And that can happen.
Yeah, I'm sure it happens all the time. But how to accept influence? One thing I want to say is first check yourself. Self-awareness is the key. Would you agree?
Well, yes, you have to be aware of yourself, aware of your capabilities, aware of your values.
Yes, your worth.
Yes, and you'll find once you become self-aware of your existence, you become more confident in yourself.
Yep.
Little things don't throw you off. You have a whole different view.
That's what you do
on life.
Yeah.
Yes. Because many of us are walking around and people's opinion weighs so much on who we are that if someone says jump, we're getting ready to jump already because we're afraid that if we don't, this person's going to stop us from living.
Yeah.
So, but when you become self-aware, it puts you in a position where what you do for you. And if you're in a relationship with someone, you would take their feedback, you will take their advice, or you will take their behaviors around you very differently. You won't think that they're after you when they mention something or they do something, when they make a comment.
Yeah. Yeah, for real. That is so true. That is so true.
So self-awareness is important because the moment that you become self-aware, it changes the way you view things.
Yes. Self-worth, I definitely agree with you. Because a lot of time we just think that somebody's opinion, just because I said something, does not mean I'm talking to you. I'm just stating my opinion.
And you can talk to the person, but talk does not change someone. If I go and say some craziness about someone, does that make it true? No. Does that mean you have to act as if it is true? No.
Right.
Because if you know you and you know what you're capable of, I can say anything. And that shouldn't change you. However, if you have issues, then whatever I say will trip you.
Yeah, that's when you have low self-esteem.
Oh, a number of other issues.
Yeah.
Probably needs to be hospitalized or something.
Oh my goodness. He's just kidding on that, okay? Yeah.
But being aware of yourself and be confident in who you are, your values, and know your competence, and know what you cannot do. If you can't do something, that's okay. None of us knows how to do everything. So if you have your partner doing a bunch of things and they're running this stuff, that's not when you think, man, what, you think you're better than me? No, that's when you think, man, that's great. You're doing good. Maybe I can do better. Show me, teach me.
Yep. Motivate you.
Yes. But when you're not quite you see someone's success and you start having jealousy and envy and you dislike them because they're doing their thing, but hey, they have to do their stuff. So when you're in a relationship, your partner is doing things and they're succeeding, they're moving, take notes. Maybe try to do the same thing or be open to learn
Yeah.
from them.
Yes.
Don't see it as a competition. People actually do that.
People do that.
Yeah. So, but yes, I mean, with us here, we obviously, I'm sure many of you guys may have a whole lot more experience than we do, but we made a commitment to each other, which whatever we do it together.
Yes.
We're going to be great. We'll be great together. If we fail at something, we fail together.
That's right.
And as long as God allows us to be alive and to see the next day, we're going to do something else.
That's right.
And you know what? Whatever the outcome is, we in it together.
That's right.
So, yes, we've built a bond over the years. We've built the understanding for each other. And we want to do whatever we can to help each other move to the next level. Hence, that's why we are here today talking to you guys.
Yes.
About what we've done and how we've supported each other and the approach we've taken in life as a whole.
That's yes.
Yeah. So everybody, thank you for listening to our podcast on how spouses or partners can support each other. I know we've shared a whole lot with you as to what we've done in our experience over the years, and I'm hoping this has been helpful to you, right? So remember to share this with whomever you think this may be beneficial to. If this is your first time with us, remember to subscribe. Like the video, share it, family members, friend, whomever again you think can benefit from this. So thank you very much. And for those of you who've been with us since the beginning, we appreciate you for all the support you've given us. Keep supporting the channel. Keep sharing it with your friends. Keep leaving us some comments. We appreciate it when you guys comment on our videos. So until then, we'll see you.
Bye.
Peace.